Performancism, performancism is the culture, often subconscious, mindset that equates a person's identity, value, and worth entirely with their achievements, productivity, and performance. It merges doing with being, creating an intense pressure to excel, to feel adequate. Key drivers often include the fear of failure, the need for validation, and the often capitalist pursuit of constant self-improvement. This is exactly what I have. But at least I'm not performative. Performative, relating to the nature of dramatic or artistic performance. That's the positive one. Done or expressed insincerely or inauthentically, typically with the intention of impressing others or improving one's own image. Alright, so famous streamer slash YouTuber KC Undercover is getting a lot of hate because he started a new channel called Kai Cenat. And so a lot of people are calling him performative for this. And me, being an average KSI hater, I had to sit here and watch this video myself. And after watching him, the only thing I could really think of when I started watching was, holy shit, this kind of cringe. But like, not even in a good type of cringe, just fucking terrible. This is actually horrid. And the internet seems to be split on whether Kai's in the right or Kai's in the wrong, which, goddamn, bro, people are bored as shit. And I know you're probably be sitting there like, wait, you're talking about this too. You must also be bored as shit. Which to that I have to say no. I actually almost don't want to make this video, but there's a secret incentive that makes me do things that I don't normally do, and it's making me push through and dig deep within the depths of my heart and soul, and that's money. I want money. Like, the bills are fucking due. However, I do actually plan on talking about this in a way that's different from a lot of other people, because everybody says the same recycled points over and over, and some people can't articulate themselves well. Then the other half is just dick sucking him because he's black. And here, this is about to be a neutral party coming in from every perspective, just seeing what everybody else says. That's what this video is about. All right, with the first point of this being more on the negative side, Kai Cenat is performative. Yes, he's very performative. Anybody who tries to say Kai Cenat isn't performative, you probably shouldn't listen to them, because shit, I don't even know how many clips I can go through to show you how performative Kai Cenat is. Like, I mean, look at this.
Where's who at?
Together. I don't know what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about?
Your sibling, bro. What you doing? Wait, just go your sister. Where your sister?
Where's your sister? Huh?
Where your sister?
Give me a wig, I'll be the sister. What? Yeah.
You always do it, bro.
It's ironic because if this wasn't Mr. Sense, everybody would be calling this dude a loser. Just from this clip alone. There's also literally another clip of Kai Cenat pretending to like claim to watch anime, and then he's like, oh yeah, I watch One Piece, and his friend asks him, oh shit, who's the fucking, name 3 characters in One Piece, and this dude fucking says Luffy.
I watch One Piece.
I
watched a little bit of 100.
You watch One Piece?
Yeah.
You don't.
It's too long though, bro.
Okay, name 3 characters.
Luffy.
Holy shit. Are you fucking kidding?
And then he's even doing shit like wearing AirPods for an, or not AirPods, holy shit. He's wearing wired earphones for an aesthetic to try to seem more relatable. And it doesn't come off as humble or relatable or authentic. It just seems really forced, especially since this is coming from a multi-millionaire. Like, brother, dig in your pockets and pull out those 3 pairs of AirPods Pros you have, bro. And like, yeah, obviously he does things where have a clip where he wouldn't laugh at it until everybody else laughs, and then he's like, oh my god. So yeah, Kai Cenat is very performative. He's cringy as shit.
After gun, pull up on you, then I pull the trigger. Ha! Look, yo, guys, can I say the word, nigga? No, nigga. Whoa, Dookie. It was a joke, nigga. Yeah! Whoa, Dookie. It was a joke, nigga.
Keep in mind, he also stopped being friends with Aiden Ross later because his assistant manager said something similar to this. Everybody starts getting on Aiden Ross saying like, wow, you're racist, or you're racist, bro. When he was doing shit like this, everybody was cool with it. But now that it's popular to hate on Aiden Ross, you can see who all switched up on him. So is he performative? Yes, without a doubt, he's performative. The people who try to say he isn't, they're just dick sucking. You honestly can't listen to what they say genuinely. It's countless proof. Like, you can just keep looking up yourself, search up like Kai Cenat fake reaction, and watch the compilations of videos you get. And then it's another side saying, you know, Kai isn't that bad. He's just trying to self-improve and, you know, just do better with his life, which he didn't have to change his entire old life to do that. It was nothing wrong with him to begin with, or there shouldn't have been anything wrong with him. But if he feels like he wants to be at a better spot, then that's okay, I guess. But the issue with that is the way he's going about it is, it seems very performative, whether they like to admit it or not. Like, he's doing shit that seems very corny, and then saying stuff like, I want to better my life, and then following up with the tweet immediately saying, I'm done with relationships and I'll never be in one again. That seems very mature. But, you know, obviously he said that from a place of hurt, but like, I'm not gonna lie to you, that's still very fucking cringe. And if it was anybody else, y'all be quick to call him sexist or pathetic, cringe, incel, because being honest, that's genuinely kind of true. Like, it was so many obvious signs that she was a POS, but he still took her up and got used. Oh shit, he still took her up and ended up getting used by her, which that's unlucky for anybody. That I wish that upon nobody. Nobody should ever have to deal with that. But then to follow up and saying, I will never be with a woman again. First of all, that's kind of crazy, but nah, like, that's insane. And there's a couple of people with actual opinions on it that's different from everything else, where it's not just blind glaze, but it's still glaze to like some extent. They're saying that Kai isn't doing anything wrong and he's just self-improving, which I already talked about that earlier and why it's disingenuous for him to do it. Now, a couple of people have been saying the reason why they're upset with Kai is because they want to gatekeep fashion and stuff. And then anybody who criticizes Kai just gets labeled as a gatekeeper. Another issue with gatekeeping. People hate gatekeepers, but I feel like you should try to understand both sides of the point. You know, I'm somebody who's more on the side of gatekeeping than more on the side of not, but only for specific reasons, because first things first, most gatekeepers aren't actually real gatekeepers. Keep in mind, there are real people who do gatekeep. Those people are weird. Don't be somebody who just bars people from having fun. But a lot of communities have to struggle with stuff and they get involved in stuff that means a lot to them. And then somebody else comes into the picture who has little to no care about it and is just shitting on it. And ultimately they say they like it, but anytime they come around, they're just hurting your experience of it. And that's an issue. Like, toxic newcomers is just as bad as old gatekeepers, because it genuinely ruins a lot of communities and fan bases. I used to be an anime fan. No, not used to. I am an anime fan. And watching how the word lolly turned from short girl with flat chest to CP is insane. And how I even have to keep hearing about this, or how I'm tired of like people complaining about there being child soldiers in anime, when all of this stuff is so baffling to me because it's just fictional. Like, well, why does it matter? You know, as long as nobody real is being harmed, I don't see why everybody cares this much about it. It's not fucking real. People like that take it to the extremes of either both sides. Like, both sides is wrong and neither side is actually wrong if you think about it. People need to understand that there isn't essential good or bad. There's just a giant moral gray area. And obviously some things you do are good and some things you do are bad, obviously. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but if I don't clarify every single little point, somebody's gonna hyperfixate on one argument that I didn't say and complain about it. Gatekeepers have a reason for gatekeeping, because when things get mainstream, they try to change it for a lot of the times for the worse. And people who act like that doesn't happen are also hella annoying. Like, I genuinely hate people like that who only want to see one way, and especially when it means a lot to people too. Like, it's genuinely people who got bullied and harassed for liking it, and now those same people who are bullying and are harassing somebody is trying to enter the space, and then they're still down talking them while doing it as well. That's why the fashion community is upset with them. That's why the anime community is upset with him. You know, a lot of people who are really into fashion genuinely had to struggle to even like keep up with their hobbies. Like, it was either food or fucking clothes, and they chose clothes, and people looked at them like they were stupid for that. But here comes the performative influencer that's a millionaire going in and saying, oh, he's gonna change the world, which he genuinely could be. That's also something that could happen. People need to just understand that things happen that's beyond people's control, and it doesn't automatically make one thing good or bad. It's just, we have to see, honestly. Unfortunately, we just have to see. And frankly, people don't like when new people come in and then colonize their interests and hobbies. Nobody likes to be colonized, but at the same time, everybody is okay with being the colonizers, and that's a big reason why gatekeeping even exists, because gatekeeping is just trying to stop fucking colonization from happening. And people may be like, oh, well, it's not that serious, but the issue is, just because it isn't serious to you doesn't mean it's serious to somebody else. It could mean the world to somebody else, but to you, it might not be more than a fucking toothpick. So like, that's why it's an issue. That's why it's this constant battle between gatekeeping, and that's why people are saying, talking trash, talking performative people. And the thing about being performative, and the thing about a lot of people who gatekeep, they aren't gonna sit there and just kick you out because you're new. They're gonna kick you out just because they can tell that you don't actually care about the product. And that's not always the case sometimes, you know. Sometimes there are weirdos who do kick you out for stuff like that, for being new. But however, you shouldn't lump together an entire group of people just off the bad actions of one. Now, you can say it's more common or more prevalent, which is true, but to sit there and be like, oh, well, everybody who gatekeep is weird, that's also weird. It's weird to both just join in on people's hobbies and interests just because, you know, to make you more popular popular and make you more credible. That's weird as fuck, no matter what. Like, I don't care if you want to say that everybody who gets into it is okay, because it's not. You know, at the end of the day, if you're doing something, you should do it because you want to do it. You should never feel forced to do it. And there's this YouTuber who tried to say this dude had a sad existence because he said gatekeeping was like good or something. And he tried to say, well, if you gatekeep, that means you can never change or grow past a certain age in your life, which that isn't the issue. Genuinely, if he cared about it, he'd be accepted into it. At the end of the day, Kai Cenat came out of nowhere with this whole rebranding stuff after a heartbreak, and it seems cringy. And you can't get mad at people for calling a spade a spade. And then on top of that, there's also people saying that they're having issues with getting into new hobbies because they don't want to be called performative. And you're not performative for attempting a new hobby or getting into something. You're performative because if you do it without actually wanting to be interested in the topic. If you're only getting into the topic knowing you will gain social credit out of it or something like that, then yes, that's performative. But if you know you'll gain social credit, but you also just still happen to like it, or you do something enough to the point you start to like it, that's not really performative. And even if you are performative, being performative isn't a bad thing. It's just people's usage of the word and people's perception of it that makes performative seem bad when it doesn't have to be. Like, everybody's performative at some point. People who work fucking customer service are performative. Like, I don't get what's the point here. And people who are scared to do anything because they don't want to be performative, you care too much about what people think about you. You need to take a step away from social media and just go explore and travel and get into hobbies, build your own hobbies and stuff like that, and think deeply, deep down about who you are as a person, because there's nothing wrong with you being performative, really, or there's nothing wrong with you wanting to get into anything. And if you're scared about people calling you performative, you have to work on yourself, because a lot of these people are going to keep you down and you can't let them keep you down. Again, gatekeeping isn't really a good thing, but being a toxic newcomer also isn't a good thing. But I mean, at the same time, being a newcomer is a good thing. While gatekeeping keeps away bad people, it's never just a black or white answer. It's always gray, a moral gray area. You know, again, people miss authenticity on the internet. I know I miss it for sure. I went on the internet and I preferred the internet over normal TV when I was younger, because, you know, it was just cool seeing people like PewDiePie being themselves and having a good time, and it feels like we can have a good time with them. It doesn't feel the same anymore. You can't really do that with a lot of people, and Kai Cenat's one of those people you can't do that with, and he kind of helped ruin that type of image for people. You know, everybody in Kai space and a lot of the top streamers now who modeled after Kai aren't often like people who are authentic to themselves. They're more likely internet personalities. Internet personalities weren't fully a thing until like more recently, I guess, or the past couple years. I don't know, time flies at this point. But I miss when people were people on the internet doing stuff instead of internet personality. Kai is an internet personality. The product isn't the experience with him. The product is his personality he's putting on for everybody to experience. It's nothing wrong with that, again, but it's just annoying. And if you're worried about how somebody can tell you're authentic, it's not really for them to pick. I don't know, just stay in your, just do whatever you want to do. Nobody really controls you. Like, if you're letting people kind of get to you and like a lot of the hate about them quote unquote being performative or inauthentic, then keep doing what you're doing. After a while, at some point, people will start calling you authentic. One thing I am surprised about is how many people comes to defend Kai Cenat anytime something happens. You know, let it be Kai Cenat does something wrong, everybody's protecting him. Or yeah, he does get criticism for a lot of stupid stuff, but never for the stuff he really should get criticism for. And that's not my job. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm not here to spread negativity, especially with somebody who's kind of out of that space now. But is he really out of that space? I honestly don't believe so. I think he's just tired of dealing with a lot of stuff and wants more easier money in different ways. That's just what I think, but I might be wrong. I checked in on the Kai Cenat stream before. I'm pretty sure it was just girls twerking on there. I could be wrong. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But like, I don't get how like the way people defend him is like annoying as shit. They go to every corner of the earth to defend him. You know, one moment his stream is for adults, so he's allowed to do stuff like that and he's allowed to be crazy, which I agree with. But then anytime an adult says they watch Kai Cenat or somebody else is mentioning Kai Cenat, they get made fun of and called stupid, and then say, oh, only children watch Kai Cenat content. And it's like, if children watch him and he's making like this freaky ass content, why does nobody have an issue about it? Or let it be somebody else who does something even remotely freaky, or somebody else who likes something even remotely freaky, then that's an instant cancellation button right there. You know, I'm just tired of like this hypocritical and two-faced internet, bro. Everybody on the internet's two-faced, obviously. A lot of people talking about this is just doing it for money, me included. It's just fucking weird and pathetic. I want to know genuinely what's your guys' opinion on everything, and let me know if I'm like missing the point or something here, because I'm not fully into this drama or whatever. But shit, I don't really like Kai, and it's a free video on him, so fuck it. Keep in mind, I'm not like a Kai hater, but I'm just saying what I see and how I see it. So yeah, I don't hate the person himself, even though I do think he probably needs some help or something. But if you guys like this video, be sure to drop a like, a comment, tell me what you think about it. What's your opinion on this whole Mr. Cenat situation? And yeah, see you guys later. Love you guys.